Good morning. We will continue what we have talked about. We start with the for loops, and we said that the for loop consists of three parts. Part one, here, this is the initialization value, and here we have the condition, and here we have the update expression. Okay. And here is the statement that should be executed depending on the for loop here. So this one statement is related to the for loop. So it's better to add these statements between blocks, begin braces, begin and end. So in this statement, the initialization value is min number, and the condition is while number greater, less or equal max, and here we are updating the number, increase the number by 1. And now here we are printing the number and the square of the number. So if we start from 1 until 10, let's say, I will print the number from 1 to 10 and its square. So I will multiply 1 and 1 here, the square of 1. Also I will print then 2 and the square of 2, or 2 to the power 2, which is 4. And then I will print 3 and the power 3 to the power 2, which is 9, and so on, until I reach 10, and the square of 10 will be 100. So the for loop depends on initialization value and the condition here. If the condition is true, I will enter the for loop. If the condition is false, I will exit the for loop. And this statement is very important to increment or decrement the variable. Why this statement is very important? Because based on this statement, I will reach to the end here. If I didn't update this variable, I will not be able to reach at the end of this condition. This condition will become always true, and we will enter to a for we will execute infinite loop. If I didn't update or increase this variable in this for loop, the number will be always less than max number, and this condition will be always true, and this will cause infinite loop. So be careful with this variable. Be careful and update the variable until you reach to the end. So make sure to know what is the initialization value, what is your condition, and what is your update statement here. And don't add semicolon at the end of the for loop or of the for statement, because in that case it will work alone, separately from other statement. Don't add semicolon at the end of for, or at the end of while, or at the end of if. Here are some examples of using for count equal 11, while count less or equal 10, count plus. Okay. In that case, this statement will not be executed because the count is 11 and count is not less than 10. So here the condition is false. In that case, so this for will not be executed. For loop can have multiple initialization. As you can see here, we have increment x by 1 and increment, and also we can increment another variable by 1, and we have separated them by comma here, comma, okay. And here we have condition also. We can also add here another condition. We can add or and whatever, okay. So the condition can consist from or can consist of different parts here, okay. And here are also we can have more than initialization value. Here we are printing, or the for loop will start from 1 while it is less than or equal 100, and every time I will increase I by 1. So this statement will be executed for 100 times, starting from 1 to 100. Okay, we have talked about these loops, but we will just pass over these 3 slides to make sure that to refresh your memory and make sure that we are on the same page. Now here also we can write this statement like this, but in this statement will be always true, and this will create infinite loop. Now I equal 1, and I will update the I variable each time, but I did not add any condition here. So in that case, this for loop will be infinite loop. So I will start from y equal 1, and because there is no condition here, it will be always true. And I will go over this for loop and over, and it has no end. Also, you can define the initialization variable here before the loop. As you can see, int x equal 1, and here I didn't put or write the initialization variable here, but my condition is x less or equal 10, x plus plus. Each time I will increment x by 1. And if you like, you can also add the initialization action and the condition, and for the action for each you can change the variable or add the action of each iteration here for inside the for loop. So what do we want to know in this slide? That we can, first of all, we can write a for loop without a condition here, without a condition. This is the first form or way of writing a for loop, but because we don't have here condition, this will be infinite loop. In the second for here, we can also initialize the variable out of the loop here, and it will be working correctly. And also we can add in the third way here, we can add the action after each iteration. Okay, after each iteration. In this for loop, we have initialized the sum to 0, and we start from number equals 0 as initialization value, while num less or equal 10, num plus plus, and we have found the total for this number and assign them to sum. So in that case, I will start from 0 until I reach 10. So I will find the sum from 0 to 10 of this number. Now here, in this slide, we are talking about the scope of variable num is the for loop. Anyone can explain to me what do we mean by this? So I will ask my question in another way. I have written this statement in yellow here. What do you think if we have written this for loop like this? I have written here int num equals 0, and also at the top of 4, or before the 4 here, at the top, I have initialized number to 0. What would happen in that case? Just I want to clarify the word scope here. What do we mean by scope? Anyone can tell me? If we have initialized num to 0 here, what would happen?
Maybe if I will use it again, it will be 0.
Yes, but what would happen here in this statement? In that case, the number is not defined here, because we have defined the number here. So in that case here, what would happen here? In that case, we will raise up a compilation error, because the compiler in C++ start from top to down. The compiler start working in C++ from top to bottom. From top to bottom. So when the compiler sees this statement num equals 0, but in this location here, number is not defined. So it will raise up the compilation error that the number is not declared correctly. So what do we mean by scope? That the variable num will be used inside the for loop only, not before, not after the for loop. Not before the for loop. We can use it inside the for loop body here, begin and end, for example, if we have. But in that case, we are telling the compiler that this num is defined inside this for loop only. So if I want to use it out of the block here, I need to define it again. Maybe if int num equal 0 again. So in that case, we have defined number equals 0 for this for loop, and it will work correctly. And if we want to define it again, we will define it and declare it the way you know here. In that case, these are two different variables. Okay, two different variables here. So make sure to be careful with the blocks. If you have defined the number inside the for, here it's okay, you can use it, but you cannot use it out or before the for. This is what do we mean by the scope here. Okay, the scope. Is this clear, guys? Is this clear? So if you have defined any variable inside a block, it will be defined inside the block. It will be defined inside the block. Yes, Abdullah said compilation error, and Ziyad said that is clear. Okay. Now I will go. here just sums and products for as a BCD code here. For the next slide, I am now on slide 31. A common task is reading a list of number and computing the sum or the product. This is the BCD code here. What do we want to know here? We need to know that if we are using loops, we should use the word repeat as a keyword inside the BCD code. The word repeat, and here end of the loop. Here is the end of the loop. So sum is equal, for example, 0, and I will start to repeat the statements here. Okay, this we mean by this that we have started a for loop. So here I will, for example, enter the number, and I will add the number or the value of next variable to the sum, and so on. I will complete here. So if we want to add a loop, we can use the word repeat and end of loop. Okay. And if you remember in a flow chart, we have drawn something like a circle. Looks like a circle. Just I will show you again to refresh your memory here. I will go back to slide number 19. I hope that you can see the slide here. If you remember, here is the initialization statement, and we have the condition here. If the condition is true, I will execute the statement, and I will update my variable here. Okay, then I will exit until the condition becomes false. I will exit my for loop. You remember this here? It's just like a cycle here. So if you have a for loop inside your algorithm, in the flow chart, you must have a shape look like a loop here. Initialization. I will start my loop. If the condition is true, I will execute some statements here. Then until the condition becomes false, I will exit my for loop and end my loop. If you remember, just to refresh your memory, okay. Here is the tracing table of for loop. Now, and if we are going to trace a for loop, first of all, we will write the iteration number. For example, I equal 1, I equal 2, I equal 3, whatever. And the value. This is the iterator, I. And the value here of number. First of all, number will be equal 5 if we have a number. As you can see here, we have a 3 variable, number, sum, and for number while number less or equal 5. So I will write here the number of iteration, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. No need to write these letters, okay? Then we will start writing here the value of number. When number equal 5, the sum will become 5. When the number is equal 4, the sum will become 9, and so on. So in that case, the num will be equal to 15. Anyone can write here the for loop for this. or can we just discuss together how the for loop will be in this slide? So when I start my loop, the number, the initialization value for the number. What is the initialization? What is the initialization value of the number here in this for loop? Anyone can tell me? It will start from number equal 5 until number less or equal 1 until while number is greater or equal now. So here the initialization value number is equal 5, and I will do my loop while number is greater than 0 or greater or equal 1. Okay, and every time I will decrease the number by 1. I will decrease the number by 1, and in the body here I will write, for example, sorry for this, I will just do my summation. I will write number or sum تساوي or equal number plus sum, and so on. So the initialization value according to this trace table is 5, okay? But the number of iteration is 1. And I will do my for loop here. Here is the initialization value, and here is my condition. While number greater or equal 1, I will do something. Otherwise, I will, and every time I will decrease the number by 1. So, and in each iteration, I will write sum equal sum plus number. I will write here sum equal sum plus number. Okay. So here is the for loop and the execution statement. Here is the initialization value. Here is my condition, and every time I will decrease the number by 1. Okay, decrease the number by 1, and I will write this statement, of course, sum equal sum plus number. Yes, Ziad.
Dr. So we should start from 4 here, right?
No, we should start from 5. Why from 4? Because we have 5 iteration here.
Number less than 5.
No, just I have changed the table here. I will start from 5 until I reach 1. So at the end condition, you can write while number greater than 0 or while number greater or equal 1. Okay, and you will start from the number 5. Okay. Okay. So you can change the condition the way you want. You can start from 4 until you reach 0. It's okay, no problem with this. But based on here, we have you can start from 4 to 0 or from 5 to 1. It's up to you. But every time I have add why I started from number 5, because in the first step I will add number to the sum. So I will start from number Number 5. Then I will decrease it by 1 until I reach to number 1. Is this clear, Ziad? This is what I'm trying to say here, because every time I am calculating the sum of the number, and the first value was 5, so I will start with 5 until 1. But if you start from 4 to 0, the number of iteration will be 5. That's good. But in that case, you will find the sum of 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and 0. But based on my trace table, I should start from 5 until I reach 1. So the initialization value should be 5 till I reach to 1. And every time I will decrease the value by 1. This is the iteration table here. Okay. Can you see the screen now? I am in slide 33. Yes. What is the difference between these two statements? Look at this for loop. As you can see in the loop number 1, there is no braces. There are braces here. But in loop number 2, there is no braces. In loop number 1, there are braces. In loop or in for loop number 2, there are no braces. What would happen in that case? It's just like if statement. What we have said about if statement. For I equal 1, while I equal 5, I will share with you the code now. Just give me a few seconds. You have a chance. If anyone knows the answer, he can tell me. He can answer. I am hearing you. I will execute this for you. Now here, it's just like the rule of any control statement. If you have added the braces here, that means all of these statements are following the for, are related to for. Okay? So now I will execute this and I will show you the execution of the other for loop. As you can see, I have separated by them using end L or new line. Now here for int I equal 1 while I less or equal 5, I have write the following statement without braces. Okay, so I will run the code and I will show you the difference here. It is just like the rule of if or any control statement. If you add the statement between braces, that means all of these statements are following the control statement. If you did not add these braces, that means only the first statement is following the control statement, whether it was a for loop or whether it was a if statement, an if statement, or switch case, whatever. So I will execute now, and I will share the screen with you. Can you see Can you see the running code now? I hope this will be clear to all of you now. Now, in the first statement, because I have added braces, hello star are the two statements will be executed inside the for loop. Hello star, hello star, hello star, hello star. But here, in the second one here, we have written hello, 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 then star. So only in the next way, or in the second form or way, only hello is following the for, because we did not add braces. The first statement will be following the loop here or the control statement. But this statement, I will share the screen again. So here in the file, these two statements are within the if. But in that case here, in the second for, we did not add the braces, so only the first statement is following or is related to for or is following for. So we in the second for, I will execute only C out hello 5 times, then I am going to print the star here. So here is the difference between the first one, the first one and the second one. Okay. Is this clear, guys? This is important. This is applying on while, do while, if not only in C++, in all programming languages. If you have added the braces here, that means all the statements will be following the for loop. Otherwise, they will not. Okay, I hope this is clear for all of you. Now I will go again to the slides. 33, and now I will go to the last slide, which is 34. Here, can you see the last slide? Here we start from I equal 10 while I equal 1, I minus minus I, as I have printed a value from 10 to 1, and in the other case here I have printed the value from 1 to 20, and every time I have increment the variable by 2. So here I will start in the first loop, I started from 10 to 1 until I reached 1. Every time I will decrease the value of I by 1, and I will print it. So from 10 to 1. In the other case here, I will start from 1 until 20, and every time I will increase the value by 2. I will increase the value by 2. So this is the last slide here. So as always, we will start with problem solving, accounting all possibilities, discovering winning or exit strategy, working backwards. Just we will talk about some strategy, okay? And also we are going to talk about programming and application. In this part, we are going to mention some additional problems on repetition structure or for loop or while, whatever, or do while statement. So now we will start with problem solving. Now accounting for all possibilities, calculating the chances for all possibilities that may occur. If you were working on a fabric shop and your manager asks you what is the possibility of customer selecting a blue fabric, what will you do? Okay. First, you will ask the customer that we have how many colors of fabric you have in the shop. You know the meaning of fabric? It is أقمشة، يعني في العربي هي القماش، محل أقمشة يعني. So assume the shop has same amount and preference and the same price for all fabric and the same amount of colors. So if we want to calculate the possibility, I don't know if you have studied statics and possibilities here. Now, if we have 3 colors and we have the same amount of these 3 colors, and also they they have the same price. So in that case, the possibility of the customer to select the blue one is 1/3. 1/3. Okay? Because we have the same amount and because they have the same price. Okay? So it depends on the number of colors only. Why it depends on the number of colors? Because they have the same amount and the same price. But if they have difference or different amount or different prices, in that case the calculation will be something else. Okay, something else. It is related to statics and possibilities. But because here we have only 3 colors, so the possibility of picking or selecting one of these colors is 1/, the number of colors. Because we have the same price and the same amount. So if we have 3 colors, blue, let's say, green and red, so the possibility of selecting the blue is 1/3. Now the customer, if the question change, what is the possibility of customer of selecting blue and red? So in that case we have 2 colors. So the possibility will be 2/, number of colors. So it will be 2/3. So it depends on as a summary here, we are depending on the number of colors. This is the first problem. Okay. Problem number 2 here, take a look at this, guys. This is important now. Because in this slide we are talking about nested form, nested loop, like nested if. لأنها متداخلة for loop متداخل. We have nested if and we have also nested for. Just I will explain it in an example here. I will use the drawing tools here. I hope it works with me. Just give me seconds. Look at this slide until I hope that you have downloaded the slides until I draw what I want to draw for you. I want to draw for you 2 circles. Just give me a few seconds. It seems there is a problem. I will disconnect and connect again. Just give me. Take a look at this for loop. Here we have what we call nested for. Nested for. Now, I will use this. Take a look at the variable here. We have left digit, which is equal 9. And we have right digit, which is equal 10. Now, my first for loop will start from, this is the outer one, okay? Outer. Like outer if. Outer. And this is inner. Inner if. This is the outer and this is the inner if. Now, in the first loop here, I will start from 1 until I reach 9. And in the second loop, I will start from 0 until I reach 10. Not 10, actually 9, because as you can see here in the second loop, I am using only, or in the inner loop, I am using only less than, not less or equal. So I will start from 0 to 9, actually here. Okay? Because the right digit is 10, right digit is equal 10, and the condition is less than right digit. So here, imagine it like this. I always explain this to my students, not in order not to forget this at all. Now here is the nested for. This is how we are representing them. Here we have 9, We will do 9 iteration, and we have here 10. Every time I execute the outer one, okay, I will go here and execute this 10 times. So when I equal 1, I will go here and execute it from j equals 0 to 10. That means 10 times, because I am saying from 0 to 9. It's less or equal. Don't forget, it is less. Don't forget this. Don't forget this. I'm starting from 0 to 9. 10 times. Not from 1 to 9. I am starting in the inner loop from 0 to 9. And in the outer loop, I am starting from 0 here. From 1, I will write it. In the outer, from 1 to 9. So this will be executed 9 times. Samarrat. Here I will start from 0 to 9. Because less, not less or equal. Here, the right inside the nested for, we have this, as I mentioned. So I will start from 0 to 9. So it will be executed 10 times. Now here, I will start from 1 to 9. And in each iteration in the outer loop, I will go over the inner loop and execute it 10 times. So this statement will be executed 9 multiplied by 10. It will be executed 90 times. Okay, so just imagine nested loops are like a circle. Each circle is inside another circle, and these circles are inside each other. Okay, so you are going to run here. Once you finish start this iteration, you will go inside and run for 10 times. Then you will go again outside the inner loop and go to the outer loop and complete the second iteration. And in the second iteration, you will go again and run for 10 times, and also for the third. So you are going to execute these statements 9 multiplied by 10, which is equal 90. Don't forget this at all. Don't forget this at all. Here we are not, we don't care or what are the results what are the results, but here we need to check what is really happening here. What is really happening here? Here we are accounting the possibilities, so we check if j equal I, then we will count the count. We will increase the counter by 1. So in this example, for instance, anyone can tell me if I started here from 1 to 20. If I started, if I'm going here to check the number from 1 to 20, what is the answer here? Just I will clear now the drawing, and I'm asking you if we are checking the value from 1 to 20. Anyone can tell me what is the answer here? What should be the possibility here of having 2 digits with the same number? I will not give you a break today, just to finalize, to finish the slide. What is the possibility here, guys, of finding 2 numbers? The left and right are the same. Yes, who is chatting now? It is 20. But now the possibility of having 2 numbers from 1 to 20, we have just, I want to clarify what does this code do? Okay, or what does this code do? Now we have only this number 11. Have the left and the right digits are the same. So it will appear only 1 from 1 to 20. So the possibility of having two numbers, a number with the same left or right digit is only from 1 to 20 is only 1, because we have only 11. So it will be 1 over 20. Now for 200, for 100 we have 11, we have 22, we have 32, 44, 55, 66, 77, and all 88, 99. So the possibilities, if we start from 1 to 100, it will be from 1 to 100. How many numbers? 11, 22, 32, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99. So it will be 9 over 100. This is just example about calculating the possibilities. Okay. If we have start from 1 to 100, it will be 9 over 100, and if we calculate the possibilities starting from 1 to 20, it will be 1 over 20, because from 1 to 20 we have only one number, but from 1 to 100 we have 9 numbers. So this is an example of calculating the possibilities. This piece of code to calculate this. Okay. So as you can see here, we have defined the counter على possible combination. Okay. And based on that, we have calculated the possibility. As you can see here, from 1 to 100, the number is 1. We have 9 digits على 90. So here we have 9 over 90, which is 0.1. So it's just an example to calculate the possibilities. Don't forget, I don't care about the program and the possibilities. I care more about the nested for loop, because we will pass by this topic and you will run a lot of examples using nested for. You will use it a lot in your programming. Now, discovering the second concept of problem solving is discovering winning and exit strategy. That means I should know when I will end my loop and when I will exit my loop. So here I should know when my loop will be ended and how I will end my loop. If my loop is continued and finished successfully, that means I have won the race, or I have won the race, and I have achieved my goal and completed my for loop successfully. Otherwise, maybe in some cases I need to exit or break my loop, so I will not achieve my loop. So in for loop, I should know what is my condition, how to end, and when I should exit my for loop. And I want to explain this in a manner of C++. In when condition we mean how should I write my for loop to reach the end of my for, but and also I should know when I will exit or break my for loop. I might exit my for or break it in some cases. Now we just go to here to problem number 2. Let us add one or more requirement by limiting the player for 3 times to get it correct or game shall end. Based on this condition, you shall end if one of two is achieved. When I will here win or finish my loop, if the user has entered successfully the number correctly at the 3 chances given. Exit, when I will exit the user, when the user has consumed his 3 chances without winning. Sorry, I went over a problem. I skipped a slide, so I will go to slide number 9 before I go to slide number 10. You asked to create, just to make sure that you have understood the slide, you are asked to create a program that should check if the user is capable of entering in numbers in descending order. So the numbers were entered in correct order. Print the numbers order correctly. Otherwise, print the number are in wrong order. So here in this case, I am going to enter 3 numbers and check every time. If the number is still in descending order, I will continue and enter the next and the next number and the other number and so on. But when I will exit, if I have entered a number that is not in descending order than the other number. So if the number I have recently entered is greater than the other number, in that case, I will exit my loop. So here I can use kind of while statement to check how many number I should enter. I will use a while statement and a condition, a Boolean variable or a condition. This condition should be changed from true to false to exit the while if I have entered a number that is less than or greater than the other number. Okay, so what do we mean by this? We mean by this, in every loop that I am going to enter, I should know what is the ending condition for me and when I will exit my for loop. This is about winning and exiting strategy. Okay, so if the player here is going to enter in a problem number 2 to enter 3 times, my condition to finish the loop or to finish the game until the player enters the number 3 times. But when I will exit here, if the user if the user has successfully entered all number correctly in one of the 3 chances given. Okay. But the user have consumed his 3 chances without winning, I will exit the while loop. If we have talked about this in manner of descending and ascending order, I will win until I entered all the numbers without any errors. I will win while I am entering the number in order. I will exit when I enter the number and when I enter unordered number. In that case, I will exit here. Yes, thank you. So we just started with the end, which is 5 p.m. and we go backward. Okay. We have calculated or we have estimated the number of minutes that need, which is 35 minutes. So I will go at 4:25. It's just kind of a backward thinking. So here, Lama baked some cookies. On the first day, she ate 1/2 of the cookies. On the second day, she ate 1/2 of what was remaining or left. On the third day, she ate the fourth. and on the fourth day she ate 1/3 of what was left, and on the fifth day she ate 1/2 of what was left. So on the first day أكلت نصهم، في اليوم الثاني أكلت نص اللي موجود، في اليوم الثالث أكلت ربع الموجود، في اليوم الرابع أكلت ثلث اللي ظل أو الموجود يعني. في اليوم الخامس أكلت نص الموجود، في اليوم السادس أكلت، هذا حل، هذا مفتاح الحل، أكلت كوكي، 1 cookie. إذن I should know that on the 6th day she ate the 1. شوفوا هذه كلمة the 1، هذا مفتاح الحل. The 1 remaining cookie. So here just this is a kind of backward thinking here. فبما إنه in the 6th day she ate 1 cookie and في اليوم الخامس كان موجود النص، فهي أكلت النص، فهو كان نضرب باثنين 2 cookies. بعدين كان موجود أكلت ثلث الموجود، فلازم يكون في الأول 3. بعدين أكلت ربع اللي كان موجود، فلازم نزيد 1. Then she ate أكلت نص the 1/2 what was left, so it will be 8, and she ate the half of what was exist in the first day, so we will multiply 8 by 2, it will become 16. So this is a backward thinking here. يعني هنا أنت كنت تضرب في نص، الآن بدك هنا in the 6th day we have the half, so in the 5th day we have double, 2. In the 5th day she ate the third of 3, so I will add the 1. In the 4th day she ate the fourth of 4, which is I will add now. I will add 1 with, and it will become 4. And in the second day in the third day she ate the half what was left. So I will multiply by 2, which is 8. And on the second day she ate the half of what was in the first day. So I will multiply it by 2. So the number of kids is 16. Now this is the reminder, and I wonder why in the exam you didn't answer this question, a lot of you. 10 mod 4, how much guys? 10 mod 4. It is باقي قسمة 10 على 4. It is 2 والريمايندر 2. هذا reminder شباب. We have talked about this. Now 9 mod 4. كم equal? Equal 1. So the expression in the exam will return 1. 9 تقسيم 4. كم باقي قسمة تقسيم 9 على 4؟ 2 والباقي كم؟ 1. This is the reminder. It's not a division. If you are now studying C++ and you don't distinguish between this and this, so there is some problem. You need to work harder on yourself and try to write a program. This is the mode statement here. It is not the division. Here is the division. Okay? So this is the reminder, just some example about the reminder. And in the next slide here, we have also some example about reminder. 10 mod 7, which is 2, and the remaining is 6. Don't forget this. 9 mod 5 is 0. 88 mod 8 is 0. 88 mod 9, it is 7, because 88 divided by 9 is 81, so we have 7 left here. Okay, so here we are checking the reminder. Go and take a look at this and make sure that you have understood the reminder operator here. Don't forget this. It is not a division. Okay. Now here I will go to this example. This example is important. We have only 3 slides left. Sorry, I did not give you a break at this time because we have some slides left from our last lecture. So please be patient with me. Now take a look at this code. Now we will start with the programming and application. Here, as I explained previously, we have nested for. We have nested for here. So here I will write here. I will execute this statement 7 times. Okay. And this statement, the other statement will depend on the last number here. So here it will start from 1 to 7. Okay, don't forget this. I will write it here. This is based on this is a nested for. This is the inner if here. The inner for, sorry, and it will start from 1 to 7. Now, for number to print here, for the nested loop here, I will start from 1 until I reach the last number, which is a variable here. So in the first iteration, it will be 1. Here, it will be 1. I will write it here, okay? So I will use this tool for drawing. In the first iteration, it will be 1, okay? Then it will become 2. Then it will become, I am writing them 3 until 7. Just look carefully at this code. So in the first, I will, as I said here, don't forget the circle here. We have outer and inner loops. So I will start for last num equal 1, while last number less or equal 7. So I will go or run inside the outer circle for 7 times. And every time I will go inside this one. But the inner one, in our case here, depends on the last number. And in the first iteration, the last number will be 1. So in the first one, the last num is 1. Now I will go inside my for loop. I will start from 1 until what? 1. So I will execute this in the first iteration of the outer one here. I will execute the inner one only 1 because last number in the first iteration is 1. So I will start from 1 to 1 and print num to print, which is 1. Then after, and be careful, listen carefully to this. After I exit this one, I have printed here a new line. I have printed here a new line. This statement should not be inside here. If you want this form or this shape, if you want this shape, the new line should be outside the inner form. If you have written this number, this statement here, in that case you will print every number in a separate line. But now, after I exit the inner loop, I will start from 1 to 1 in my first iteration here, and I will end it, so I will print the number 1. So I start from 1 to 1. So I will print the value only 1 time, then I will exit the for loop and print a new line here. This is my first iteration. Now I will go over again my circle. Last num will become 2 because I increase it by 1 here. So it will become now here, I will just write it like this, 2. So I will start again and enter my inner circle, starting from 1 to 2. So I will execute this statement twice. I will print 1 and 2. Then I will exit my inner for and print a new line here. Then I will continue now. I will go to continue my outer loop. Now the number will become 3. So I will delete this. Sorry for this. And it will become what? 3. So I will start again from 1 to 3 and print 1, 2, 3. Okay. And as you see here, I did not add anything. I added them. I printed them beside each other. And I will continue to 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Again, if you have added this new line here inside the inner 4, you will print this value. You will print this value. Each number will be printed in separate line. So if you have added this statement inside the inner 4 here, it will be 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I will continue 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, because I have added the new line inside the inner loop. So, but if you want this shape, you should add the C out, a new line, after exiting the for loop. I hope this is clear. Now, this is my first question. Now, my second question here, I need someone to answer. Do you think this shape will be printed like this?
شو اسمه ما بتنطبع بهذا الشكل لأنه ما حط أمر الإخراج السي أوت اندنتيشن، ما سوى سلاش تي، ما سوى مسافات، ما سوى شيء، ولا حط نيو لاين.
Yes, okay, thank you.
But تحت بعض على طول بدون مسافات.
Yes, thank you, Abdullah. Thank you, Abdullah. Thank you, Walid. No, thank you. But try next time in English. Now we don't have here something. We don't have spaces here. We don't have spaces. So how these spaces are printed here? Here we have space. If you can see here, look at the code. Okay, we have spaces here. Here we have 7. Here, what happened here? I will use this. We have also spaces here and here. So this is how these spaces were printed. This does not make sense. Okay, so this chair will be printed like this. I don't know if the drawing, I will. I'm trying to draw, but I don't know what's happening. Sorry for this interruption. I hope it's working now. شوفوا هذا كيف، هذا جاي كذا like this. But here we have some spaces. Can you see the screen now? These spaces are how these spaces are printed. This does not make sense. Can you see the screen? Now here they should be printed like this. Inshallah, in the lab I will just give you some example about printing these shapes. After finishing the lab, I will assign you not a task, it's something for you that help you to do more training and train yourself more on nested for. I will, inshallah, remind me about this. I will give you some example. Please try to solve this example yourself, because you will have the answer on the internet, but we want you to think and train more on using the nested for. So the shape will be like this by executing this code. No spaces. Here we have spaces, but it does not make sense how these spaces are there. Okay. Now I will go to Next slide. Here, I will clear my drawing. Now here, guys, a while loop. As we mentioned here, we have while low less than high. High start from 10, 20, and low start from 0. So every time I will increase the low by 3 and decrease the high by 2. And this is my condition here. Now we have the drawing. Here is high equal 20 and low equal 0. Now, if the condition is true in the while, I will enter the for, and I will enter the while statement. Otherwise, I will exit the for statement. And don't forget this again. I have mentioned this a lot of times. If you want to make these statements following the while, you should surround them by braces or put these statements inside the braces. Now, we will check how the statement is working here. While loop, while low is, first of all, low is equal 0 and high is equal 20. Is low less than high? Yes, low is 0 and high is 20. So low first time will be 0 and high is 20. Is low less than high? Yes. Now low will become 3 and high will become 18 in the next iteration. Is 3 less than 18? Yes, so I will go again. Now low will become 6 and high will become less than, I am writing less than based on my condition here. And high will become 16. Is 6 less than 16? Yes. I will enter my while. While true, I will, while the condition is true, I will continue. Now the low will become 9 and the high will become 14. 9 is less than 14. I will continue. Now the low will become 12 and the high will become here 12. Here in that case, I will exit the while. But when low is equal 9 and high is equal 14, I enter this statement. So I have increased the low by 3, so it become 12. And also I have increased the high by 2 and became 12. Now this condition is false. I will not execute the statement again. But the last updates for low and high, now low will become 12 and also high will become 12. So I have printed on the screen one time. Why one? Because the print statement or the cout statement is outside my while statement. So here is the output. The output will be printed only one time. So this is kind of while. Inshallah, maybe next lecture or in the lab we will see the do while. You have also what we call here do, and we have do while. Do while, something like this, but we have semicolon here at the end. Do while, begin and end. So we have here 3 ways for writing repetition loop. We have for, we have while, we have do while. For selection or conditional statements, we have if and we also have a switch. We have if statement and we have switch statement. So this is how this while loop is working. While we need to know that we should surround the statement by braces we need to know also that while depends on my condition. If the condition is true, I will enter. If the condition is false, I will exit my while. I will clear the drawing now and go to our last slide here. It is our last slide. Now here we have, we have defined, we need to trace this code. We have defined character C, and we need to enter a sentence. And to finish my program, I should at the end enter dot. Okay. So what was the sample here? I have entered this statement, character by character. So first of all, I have entered M inside, as you can see the statement here. My first statement is, my first character is M. Now I have counter equals 0 here. So I will now go inside my for loop here. My while loop, sorry, my while loop or my loop statement now. Now I have entered here M. While C not equal dot. Now C is equal M. M لا not equal لا تساوي دوت. لا خلينا نكبر هذا لا تساوي دوت. So it's true. So هل الM I will check. While C not equal dot, yes, I have entered M and M not equal dot, so I will go inside my if statement. If C equal A small, no. هل تساوي A small? لا. I will not do anything here inside this for if statement here. Now as you can see, the braces for if started from here to here. So this statement will be executed inside while, and it is not related to if. So I will enter y again. Y لا تساوي not equal dot. So I will, the condition is true, I will check. هل الكاركتر y equal a? No. I will do anything. I will not do anything. I will read another character, which is space. And the space is not equal also dot. Not equal dot, which is true. So I will go and enter type. Is the space equal A? No. I will not increase the counter by 1. I will not do anything. I will enter N the same, not equal dot, and N also I will, because it is not equal dot, I will enter the while, and it is not equal A. I will not do anything with the counter until I enter A small. Now here I have entered A small, and A small not equal dot, so it's true. Now I will check. هل the character I have entered here A equal A? Yes, I will increase the counter by 1. So counter will become 1 because it was 0. So every time I enter A, the counter will be decreased. So here the counter will be 1, and here the counter will become 2, and here the counter will become 3, and here is the counter will become 4. So finally the counter will become 4. Now at the last statement here, you should enter dot to end your program. Okay, you should enter dot here. I have removed the dot from the previous lecture. Now, if you have entered dot, now we will check. If you have entered dot here at the last character, we will check. Why C not equal dot? C not equal dot? No, C is equal now dot. I have entered dot here at the end. So the condition will become, it is actually C equal dot, so the condition will become false, and I will exit my loop here, and finally, after exiting the while, I will print the counter here, counter of A's are 4. So this is the last slide here.